So this is a Travis type of day. This is a Travis experience for me. Sometimes you can scientifically try to explain why things happen. They're fish, they're wild animals. They're gonna do what they wanna do.
Just so you know, look at all the redfish. There they are. All right, I'm getting back in them.
Chasin The Sun is brought to you by Island Marauder and Stewart Boatworks, from flats to fathoms. Kicker Audio, living loud. Pelican, built to protect. Mercury Marine. And by Z-Man, the science and art of fishing.
The fish don't always follow the rules that we set. Tide movement, moon phase, wind, water clarity, all those things that we factor in to our game plan. The fish don't always follow it.
I see her floating right there. Me lucky hat!
You got excited about that.
Hey, it's one thing to blow it off. I actually reached up with my hand and knocked it clear off, like I was purposely trying to knock it off. And after the day I had yesterday in this hat, we're turning around for that. We're not leaving to go fishing without this hat.
Can't leave without the lucky hat.
I knew that today was gonna be a repeat of yesterday, so I expected the fish to repeat what they did yesterday. Since the days the man figured out how to build boats and float around on the water, we've also been figuring out how to modify it. And whatever we need that boat to do is what we're gonna modify them to do. In our situation, we have a lot of clear water and we do a lot of sight fishing. And if you wanna see redfish and catch redfish by sight fishing, getting on some type of elevated platform is going to be a natural way that you can see those fish.
1.5 foot tall casting platform was standard issue for a long time.
It don't work.
And then now everybody, like steps going up.
You know, the cool thing about when you have an elevated fishing position is every foot you go up in elevation, you gain 20 feet in visibility around the boat. And when we're...
That's important.
So like any new relationship, me and Travis have been fishing together a little bit now, and we've learned each other's little quirks. And I gotta say, I really appreciate Travis.
Oh, that just means I wasn't paying attention. See, if you catalog everything, then your mind gets full of a bunch of blah. You don't need any of that.
Yeah.
You just need what's important.
What's important is going to snacks and pilchards.
Right, exactly.
So he finally trusts me, I feel. He knows I have a system for everything. I know where I'm gonna chum, where I'm gonna throw the net, how I'm gonna get the baits from the water to the live well. This is the first time he just sat to the side and let me do my thing.
That's really good. Nice work, boss.
I'm not sure if it was a trust thing or he just enjoys having somebody else do it for him. Travis just eased me on over there and I threw the net right on him, bombed him, and got him good. So now we're ready to go fishing.
I'm not real good with the whole chum thing because we don't do it.
One of the neat things here is when you head east from our pass, you have like 20 miles of undeveloped beaches, just barrier islands, just beautiful emerald green water, and there's redfish, pompanoes, all kinds of fish along the beaches. But before we hit the beach looking for that, I like to wait for the sun to get up a little bit where I can see better. We're gonna hit some of these reefs along the way and see if these jacks will come up to the surface and give us a little surface action.
This is all personal stuff, so we gotta try not to break it.
Roger.
Like that one, I just put a new line on. I know it's gonna get in the wreck. They're all right here behind the boat now. I can see them all. There's some jacks down there. Oh, there's a whole school of bait coming up.
Oh yeah. Oh, we're about to have a Christmas tree gonna turn into the show. It's the best part about Freebie and Pilchards is we're about to light this place up. Yeah. So what you doing over
I'm
there?
getting wild.
Little all
So,
bright.
yeah, I'm gonna put a little haywire right on a fly, and then I'm gonna do an all bright to connect this to our leader. And there are some cudas out here that are giant.
Got to protect against the toothy critters. Otherwise, we're just donating flies and hooks.
Yeah, and these are all,
And jacks don't really care. I mean,
no,
you know, for fun fish, nothing better than a big old freight train jack. They pull hard. They're kind of dumb.
that's
And they're
why we like them.
And they're related to a lot of things we like to catch. So.
Yeah. So that's why I
Oh, look at
like
them.
them.
There they are. There they are. Got them on the surface.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't go too heavy on the drag, you know. Hopefully the cuda bites it and we get a nice jump.
Run.
Yeah, because these cudas, most people don't know, but they jump like crazy.
Yeah, cudas are fantastic
Yeah.
sport fish. We have a tournament in Keys called the Cuda Bowl.
Really?
And it's a fly fishing barracuda tournament.
Oh my goodness.
And
that
it's
sounds
huge.
fun. Yeah.
He's looking.
Now, these amberjacks are typically really, really active, really aggressive, and that's what we love about them. So these fish, sure enough, we throw some chum baits in, we see them start coming up. We're throwing plugs, throwing flies, and they're there. We can see them. There's no question about that. But they're just not willing to commit and finish and eat the bait.
Inadvertently, you put two fishing guides together on the water and there's gonna be competition, you know, me versus him, whether he's in the boat or next to me, and you can see it. Justin's casting, always trying to be the dude doing the thing, which, you know, I'm kind of cool with that. I'll step back and let that happen, but there's always competition. It's just the way it is.
There we go.
We're definitely not ultra happy.
You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes, Travis.
Yes, sir. I'm still gonna get one on fly. You got him up?
Yeah, I can handle them.
You want me to land him?
Nah, I got him. Oh. Might be a good idea.
Yeah, I was thinking that rod was gonna have a little bend in it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. We'll, you want me to come over there or you want to
No,
come
we're
over?
good. We'll go over. I'll come over there. I'll just
I
throw you
like
over.
this. I've always wanted a personal fish lander.
Right? Need you a little fishing guide every once in a while. You know what? We'll go the easy way.
There you go.
Come here. Where'd that hook go?
Yeah, it was right in the corner. There you go.
Don't you love how they always bite down when you're getting in there around the mouth?
Look at that cooter right here next to you. You better watch your hands.
That is a big old cuda.
So I think that sometimes has something to do with why these jacks will get a little funky, because even as big as these are, they're still food out here. There's always something out here that's bigger that will eat you. And on some of these wrecks out here, in the case right here, it's a barracuda.
Yeah, and that's a very big cuda.
Yeah, some of them will just chop that dude right in half.
Makes me worry about my hands, my watch.
All right, well, we're on the board. Let's see if we can get these guys riled up.
There. Release.
Yes.
Cuda free
the jack.
release.
Great catch and release fish too, because that swim bladder doesn't really blow up in a jack very much. They can release that pressure on the way up. So
The best part was they're already on top anyway, so equalized on
right
his
there?
own. Look at that.
Yep.
That cuda's
That big cuda.
humongous.
I'm telling you, that's still not the biggest ones here.
After some struggle with that, we did finally get some to bite and stay attached. But we're trying to catch them on lures, trying to catch them on flies, and you know, they just weren't active enough to really want to commit. They did a few times and we caught some, but when we're jack fishing, I mean, we want to catch them. That's why we do it. They're so aggressive, you know, good fight. But if they're not really doing it and being real aggressive and biting what we want them to bite, I'm done with them. I'm ready to move on to something else.
How many leader did you have on there?
25.
Oh, there you go. You'd be surprised what this small tackle can handle.
Yeah. 15-pound braid and 20, 25-pound leader. You lock the drag down on these things. These things got an amazing amount of drag, and you can turn some heads. All right. You can also cause yourself an extreme fishing workout.
No. That's what we all work out for.
I don't work out. This is my workout. I prefer to let the fish do it.
Yeah, I'm usually guiding on the boat, so I missed that workout part. Be me bringing them up here to play.
So you know why I hooked me one up, right, Travis? Mm-hmm. So that way I don't have to grab. Oh, dang it.
Hey, look, you still gotta grab him. I'll just get his head up, control him, reel down a little bit.
You know, I will say most of our fisheries management is really controversial as to what we keep and all that, but there is one thing that is factual, and that is 10 years ago in state waters in Florida, we did not see amberjacks this size.
No, that's tanky.
So the average size of these fish out here on these reefs is getting rather large. So large, matter of fact, we've had to change the tackle we use to catch them.
Well, fortunately, in today's world, you just up the braid.
Yeah, that's right. Or on the fly, we used to come out here to catch these, you know, state water, shallow water amberjacks. We're in 70 feet right now. We used to come out here with 8 weights. You know, it'd be big schools of them up on the surface.
Somehow they don't have teeth, really.
No, it's almost like a bass
You
mouth.
can lip
Yeah,
these guys.
That's right.
I was actually a little relieved that the jacks weren't that active because my mind, since I woke up this morning, was already set on getting back to that beach. I saw a giant school of redfish on the beach and we caught some of them, and my clients actually were really cool about letting that school just kind of chill out, and we left them. And I knew I was going to come back and film them today, so I was interested to see if they were still going to be there in the same little trough I had left them in.
Just in case we see a permit, so we're doing one redfish rod and a permit rod. Is that what we're doing?
That's it.
So believe it or not, we actually had a few permit up here along the beach. So I was really focused on getting up there and seeing if we could find them. Because the day before we saw some and I threw everything in the boat at them and couldn't get them to bite. But Mr. Travis is Mr. Permit, and he has like all these different rigs and concoctions that he comes up with and theories on permit. So I just wanted to get him in front of some of these permit and see if he could connect with them.
Trout. Big trout.
No, it's not. It's a big skipjack.
Sure?
Yeah.
I saw a big trout.
It is a trout.
Oh, yeah.
Look at all the bluefish or whatever trying to eat them, though.
Big trout.
Oh, they did eat them. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Dang.
You appreciate your trout?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
That stinks.
That's a little gumdrop. There's a reason why we love them. Look at that. Sorry, buddy.
Maybe they're like a lizard, you know? Maybe that'll grow back. Probably not.
A normal question I get on a daily basis is when we see these redfish, what type of presentation do you make? You know, do you throw the lure right to them? Do you put a long lead and put it 20 feet out in front of them?
That red right there.
And that is an unbelievably complicated question because every scenario is different, every fish is different. There are a few rules of thumb that can lead you in the right direction. And the first one is how shallow that fish is. The shallower a redfish is, the more spooky he is. And if something splashes down really close to him, he's out of there. You gotta think, these fish grow up on these flats with birds of prey being probably their top predator. We have ospreys all over out here, and they'll swoop down and scoop up a little redfish. So they're used to watching out for things attacking from above. So your lure flying over the top of a redfish in 6 inches of water is probably gonna run them out of there. So most of the barrier islands along the panhandle up here are Tyndall Air Force Base property. And if you're a patriot, there is no cooler place to fish because you'll have F-22 Raptors taking off right over your head, flying up and down the beach. You just get to see so much of our military in action. It's really neat. It's a lot of fun for us to watch.
Now here's the deal. I'm not gonna sit here and talk about this guy a lot because that school's still right here. Redfish, back in the water.
I don't know anything more red, white, and blue than fishing right here along the beach, right on the Emerald Coast. Jets taking off over your head and just as free as we can be.
That's cool.
Not too shabby.
Florida redfish. Much lighter on the sand than they were in the deep water.
No doubt. Clear water, white sand bottom. You know, sometimes they almost appear more like a bonefish look to them. And they really get hard to see sometimes on the sand because they get so light. Which I guess is exactly why they get so light.
Had we been tournament fishing, we'd at least had 2 in the box.
That's right. There you go. I see 2 facing to the right over here. I'm gonna get one of these, got to. Nope, no reaction.
Chasin the Sun has been brought to you by Native Eyewear, built for the backcountry. Florida Fishing Products, fish better, fish Florida. Dulce Vida Tequila. Extra Tough, the original fishing boot. And by Visit Panama City Beach.
You know, one of the nice things here on Chasin the Sun is having quality products like Pelican coolers that we can use for a lot of different pieces. Not only is this our drink cooler, gonna hold ice for a lot of days. When we're sight fishing, which we do a lot of here in Panama City Beach because we have really clear water in the bays and out in the Gulf, we just naturally do a lot of sight fishing. So rather than having an extra platform up here, another piece on the boat, we're gonna combine that right here into one piece. And now I can take what was a seat there, obviously a cooler, and now I have an elevated platform to fish from. I can actually see fish right here around the dock. The reason you need a quality cooler is because not only do you want it to last a long time, see this has latches that will last the life of the cooler. You don't ever have to replace them like you do a lot of rubber latches. But also, as a full-time fishing guide here, I'm running multiple trips every day, and you can stuff this full of ice and bottled water and all your drinks and stuff. You can do that on Monday, and come Friday, that stuff's still in here, so I'm not spending all day re-icing and getting new drinks for my next trip.
With our Memorial Reef program, what's great about it is that they provide habitat for all sorts of marine creatures, all the way from our little tiny shrimp up to small juvenile fish, tropical ornamental fish, all the way up to large game species, even sharks.
This reef deployment is really special to me this year. We're putting my dad's ashes in a reef.
People are finding out more about artificial reefs and memorial reefs and how they can go together, and they find it's a great thing to do. So we're doing what we can with our annual projects to facilitate that. It can be very creative. They put in mementos like a favorite old fishing lure, maybe a favorite little statue, a favorite whiskey glass, whatever was an icon for the individual that's being honored.
You know, I've been kind of through this before. My husband's grandmother is in a reef already, and his brother also passed away very young, and we put his ashes in a reef, and they're out in the same area where my dad's gonna go.
Without this, we wouldn't have much of a fishery here, because vastly most of the Gulf of Mexico off the Mexico beach is nothing but flat sand bottom. And that's a very poor substrate for things like corals, sea fans, gorgonias to attach to. Putting these reefs out there provides the hard substrate necessary for these organisms in the water to calm drift to, bore into it, and start growing. And then it begins the whole food chain that you would see on a natural reef. So in turn, what memorial reefs and artificial reefs are doing, they're mimicking natural reefs, providing habitat for marine life.
Days like today are actually really neat for me because I learned something completely new. And you know, when you fish the same fish day after day, you get in your routines, and a lot of times that can be a bad thing to get stuck in that routine, because when it doesn't work, I want to leave and go do something else. Where you know, Travis does this a lot, where he thinks more with an open mind, and if you stick with it sometimes and just try something new in that same area like we did today, you can learn something new.